Michael Mays here. Are you trying to get that at-home workout when you're not allowed to leave the home? Are you trying to get those solid abs, but you don't have a solid foundation for your workouts? Is your bar flipping and flopping all over the place, sliding around like it doesn't care about you and your workout progress? Well, you need space-age technology. The Metal Ab Maker Metal Bar Holder 2.0. Made of 3 plates of 16 gauge steel. This thing will hold anything your workouts can throw at it. It's made right here in the United States of America. It is hard as a rock, but it's not a rock, and it's not wood either. It's 16 gauge metal. And if you like and subscribe to this video right now, I will throw in a second one for totally free plus shipping and handling. And if you share it with your friends, we'll even throw in a lampshade.
Alright, so today we're going to be doing a 2020 special. Nice short video. This is a simple, easy project. I'm going to be doing it out of 16 gauge metal and welding it, but you can absolutely do this out of wood. Just know it's not going to last as long, and you might have to make another one. But that's no issue. If that's all you have, go for it. So what we're building today is for a T-bar, and that's for exercising with back rows with a large weighted bar, or I guess you could do a curl bar or other things, but a weighted bar of some size. And the challenge with those is typically at a gym you're going to have some type of pivoting mechanism that one holds it steady and two stops it from damaging the area you're working out in. And so if you're at home with one of those and you want to do a T-bar and you corner it against a wall, you might be chewing up the plaster, the real soft plaster of your wall or the carpet that it's sitting on. So we're going to be building a 3-sided cube that you're pretty much just going to pivot the T-bar into the corner of it. And because it's metal on metal, there will be a little bit of wear, but this will wear before the hardened metal on the T-bar will, because these hasn't been tempered yet. This is just stock steel, and so this will be more malleable than the T-bar. And if you make this out of wood, the wood will be more malleable than the T-bar. So you'll be hurting something that's more forgivable to hurt, and you don't care about this. If the point of this is to get damaged. So I'm using an 18-inch, which is perfect, because I'm going to get 6 sides of 6x6. So we'll have a 3-sided cube that's 6x6x6. And I used my Easy Square to get perfect squared up lines and double check the measurements with that with my measuring tool right here. And so we've got 3. Now remember, before you start cutting, measure 2, 3, thrice amount of times, and then blindly cut with no regard for measurements. Just kidding. The reason I have these little arrows on where I drew the lines here and here is because that's letting me remember what the directions were. That was the median of error in my measurements. So I know I want to be cutting on this edge of the arrows pointing that way. I want to be cutting on this edge of the measurement. And then I take my angle grinder. What would be best would be if you had a table circular saw with a metal band saw to cut something like this. But with practice, you get decent with a handheld circular saw as such. Now that is pretty straight for a handheld cut, if I do say so myself. Now, repeat, you only have one more cut to do if you got the 18-inch metal sheet like I did, and then we're going to start welding. Now, I finished all 3 cuts, and I gotta say, they are all pretty fine for a handheld saw. Just to show you I'm not proofing, no goofing. That is pretty good. I beveled it up, and I'm using the magnets, which I gotta be honest, I've got probably a dozen of these things. They're just hanging all over the shop and in some boxes. These are your best friends when it comes to building sort of freestanding objects like this when you're welding. Really helps resist warping, and just any bumping and movement just happens to happen. These magnets really help. So Well, we got the welding all finished up, and as you can see, it's getting a little cold in here. But I beveled the edges, just a rough circular on the table grinder, and that was just mostly an aesthetic reason. You could have just dulled the sharp corners if you like the more angular look, but I think the slightly rounded edges gives it a lot more of a refined, not made in a shed in the cabin in the woods sort of look. And so now I'm going to take the angle grinder with a paper saw and just nice fine, give it that nice final edging that as you can see, I got pretty close with all of these edges, but you know, not perfect, not machine perfect. So I'm going to go with that angle grinder, grind these down, give it a nice spray paint, and we'll test her out.
What are you still doing here? The show's over, guys. Project's done. It worked great. Come by next time. See ya.